Bridal party getting put out of Airbnb on wedding day.
It's ridiculous. If the bride came to get her hair and makeup done, and we have to be at the venue, what? We have 2 hours? Where we gonna go for 2 hours? We in the middle of nowhere. Literally in the middle of nowhere. She had 7 people. It don't even matter. We're not having a house party. We're doing our hair for a wedding. Like,
So we got a situation that went down with an Airbnb where a bride and her bridesmaids were kicked out on her wedding day after the host discovered that there were more people inside the home than originally stated. And with these type of situations, the truth can easily get misplaced, especially when there are feelings and emotions involved. And so we'll hear from the bride as well as the Airbnb host, and whether or not the host was wrong for kicking them out, or was the bride out of line and did she break the rules? Let's get into it. All right, so for a little bit of context as we go ahead and get into this, one of the women who was with the bride posted to social media, "Getting put out of an Airbnb on your wedding day is insane. The limit is 6 people. And for a short period of time, we got up to 7. And the owner, who lives right across the street, told us we had 30 minutes to leave or she was calling for the sheriff's office. Like, be for real, it's 9 a.m. No loud noise and people were about to switch out. I have never been to Montgomery, Texas before today, and I most definitely won't be going back."
hi guys, my name's Angel. I'm the bride from the Airbnb video that the hairstylist posted. I just want to get on here and tell my side. I'm only going to be giving out facts. Not much my opinions on everything, but yeah, just showing you guys some screenshots and getting my side of the story out. That's all. Okay, so number 1, I knew that my venue was not going to let me until 12. At that point, I had to figure out a situation because I have 10 bridesmaids in total and they needed to get their makeup done and they needed to start like early in the morning, okay? Second, because I needed to figure something out, I went ahead and I told my dad, hey, I need to get an Airbnb or a hotel, whatever the case may be. Also, guys, the mysterious Everett that everybody's talking about is my dad. That's it. Also, I did not tell this woman that I was having my wedding, and I don't think I needed to. And honestly, that opinion is not going to change. It's not going to change. When I book an Airbnb, when I book a hotel, I don't tell them why I'm there or what I'm doing. Quite frankly, they don't need to know. All they need to know is that I'm staying there. That's it. Now, what you guys should know is that I have 10 bridesmaids in total. I was aware that it said 6 guests maximum. And I had created, or really my maid of honor and my matron of honor, shout out to them, they created a schedule for the bridesmaids to get there to do their makeup because I knew that I couldn't have more than 6 people there. My intention was to always have 6 people there. And for everybody who doesn't believe that we were really going to do rotations, we really were. My bridesmaid, my matron of honor, got the 4 wrong, but really it was 6 people. So I told them like groups of 3 and then let the next group know when you're going to be done. Yeah, so it would have been 3 people, me, the hairstylist, and the makeup artist. That makes 6.
Anybody that's ever been in a wedding, whether it's been their own or just been a part of one, knows that nothing ever goes exactly according to plan. Something big or something small is going to go wrong. And so her knowing from the very beginning, as she stated, that the wedding venue was not going to allow her to actually be on the premises, her nor her guest, until 12 noon. She knew that when she booked the Airbnb. She stated that. With that information that she already had, she chose to only book it for 2 people and then create this chart where she would be able to then cycle people in and out in order to not have more than 6 people there that she did not even make the host aware of as far as how many people would actually be coming in and out the home. Once again, this is an Airbnb property that has policies in place. But she also stated that she felt like it wasn't any of the host's business while she was staying at that property. And ultimately, that decision ended up having a domino effect, which led to her getting kicked out.
Also, this was sent at 8:32 p.m. on Friday. Now, guys, I got back to my Airbnb at like 5 in the morning because, like I said, I went out the night before. I immediately went to bed. I was tired and I was getting married in the morning. I went to bed, and then when I woke up around like 8 in the morning, I realized that there were more than 6 people. And I realized that that was against the rules. So I messaged her and I said, good morning, just wanted to let you know that I'm getting married today. My venue is 15 minutes down the road. I let her know that so that she knew that whenever we left, it would be quick, okay? Venue won't let me and my bridesmaids in yet, but will around 12 p.m. By that time, we should all be gone, as well as the cars. I just wanted to let you all know that so that you didn't think it was a party or anything. I apologize for the inconvenience. Please let me know if there's anything you need from me. And again, I apologize. I apologize twice, guys. I'm not a rude person. I understand this is somebody's place, and I don't want to do anything to make them uncomfortable.
Now, hold on. We just heard her state that from the beginning, she believed that it wasn't any of the host's business why she was staying at that property. She felt like it didn't need to be told to her. But now that she's being inconvenienced on something she already told us she knew she wasn't going to be able to do, be on the premises of the wedding venue until noon. Now she wants to tell the host that there's multiple people who need to remain at the property. And she's not even asking in this message. She's pretty much just notifying and telling the host that people are staying there until this time. And so now you're hitting someone who doesn't know you other than they have a contract with you and believe that there were only going to be 2 people staying there. And all they know is now you're telling them it's 7 people there. This is the exact reason why from the very beginning, she should have just communicated that she was going to be there for her wedding. And then the host could have been more understanding and accommodating. And she could have let the host in on the fact that she was going to be cycling people in and out of the home in order to get their hair done. And whether or not the host would actually be okay with that. Because if the host was okay with that, then they could have made sure they just accommodated you properly as far as the cost, if it was going to be a difference. Or they could have told you that that's not allowed, and you could have found a different property to stay at that would allow it. But your refusal to believe that you somehow don't need to communicate these things, or you're entitled to just do what you want, how you want to do it on someone else's property, ultimately did you in as far as causing an issue that was really avoidable.
She said good morning. She congratulated me on my wedding day. She told me about the policy again, and said that it was strict. And she said that she wouldn't be able to, that says accommodate your requests. I understood. Did I understand? No, but I understood that this is her place. So if that's how she feels, then that's how she feels. I said, okay, do you know where they may be able to go since only 3.5 hours? I literally just needed somewhere for them to be for 3 hours, or 3, 4. I'm bad at math, whatever. I need them to be somewhere for a short amount of time. She said she was checking, and she asked how many there are. I said just 7. I know that for a fact in her video, it did not go through to her. So she did not see this. Guys, like I said, this Airbnb was in the middle of the forest. I'm a very type B person, so really that morning I was running off having no Wi-Fi and just doing whatever. But I did say that there were 7 people in the Airbnb. It just did not get to her, and I was running around doing stuff, so I didn't see that it didn't send. She then said, you can check Margaritaville. Like I said, guys, I just needed a place for 3.5 hours. My bridesmaids were going home after the wedding. I wanted to be with my husband. I said, because I was trying to clarify, they don't need a place to stay, just a place to wait until 12, and then they're leaving and not coming back. What I meant by that is not that they're leaving your house and not coming back. What I meant is that wherever they will be, they don't need to stay. They're not coming back. I said they aren't staying the night, just waiting. That's it. That's all I meant by that. And I can see how it may be misconstrued that I meant her place, but that's not what I meant. I just meant that I needed a place for them to be at for not an extended period of time. And she said that she understood and that it was again, and we weren't allowed on the property. La la. This was the rest of that message. I totally understand. Again, only 6 people allowed to be on the property, only 3 cars allowed to be on the property. I saw 4, and I showed you guys a screenshot, but whatever. No street parking, and all IDs need to be submitted for all guests prior to check-in. These weren't guests. Again, they were visitors. They were not going to be there for more than like 4 hours that day. And these policies were on the listing that Everett agreed to upon booking. You're violating numerous policies of ours. I'll give you 30 minutes to vacate the property. Otherwise, the sheriff will be notified to vacate you from the property. And then she confirmed yesterday it's only 2 checking in. Yeah. Then she finally responded and said yes. And so while I said I was upset, guys, but I wasn't going to be cursing this woman out and doing the most, so I just said, awesome. I hope you have the day you deserve, after threatening to call the sheriff on a bride who was trying to have effective communication.
Her outlook from the very beginning on this entire situation is what led her down this path ultimately. And so when one of the women who was in her group decided to post that video of them exiting the property to social media, you know how it goes. People found the host information, then they began to harass her with messages and calling her names. They were calling her a racist. And as a result, she felt the need to defend herself and also tell her side of things.
Hi, my name is Reina Tart. I'm a real estate agent and I also own Airbnbs and I do this for a living. I'm the one that actually went viral on TikTok regarding about kicking out a bride. So I'm here to tell my story because I think it's really, really important for everybody to know, because I've been being harassed like nonstop. And I don't think that's right, because as you know, people only react on what they see. So I think it's better to tell my story.
And so the host goes on to tell her side of the story, how she confirmed the booking and believed that it would only be 2 people who would be at the property. It wasn't until the morning of the wedding where she received the message from the bride notifying her that there were now 7 people who were at the property. And so this is how she responded.
The second day, which is September the 13th, I got a message from the female guest telling me, letting me know that there's going to be people coming over and there's going to be a lot of cars, and she just want to make sure that I'm aware because it's her wedding day. And this is new to me. I didn't know there's going to be a wedding or she's going to be a bride. She never communicated to me regarding about wedding. So she said that her guest needed a place to stay because the wedding venue is not open until before 12 o'clock. And I was thinking, like, why you just told me about this? You know, if this is your big day and you planned for this for a while and you've been communicating with the wedding venue, you should know that their check-in time is not before 12. But apparently what I gathered is that I think she booked the property for, you know, the wedding party, which I wasn't aware of. And, you know, we do have, requirements, right, for our guests, because as a host, we created our own house rules. So one of the house rules is that I do need all the IDs from all the people that's actually staying on our property. Either they stay there, hang out, or stay there overnight or sleep overnight. I do need to have those IDs.
And now we see where the problem lies. And you could argue whether or not her rules were over the top or whether she was doing too much, but they were still her rules for her property. And if someone disagrees with them, then you don't have to give her your business. You could take your money elsewhere. But these are the rules she has in place. And as a result of those rules being broken, she was in the right from that perspective with removing the bride from her property.
This is my home. It's very special to me. This is personal. I just want to make sure the people who are those people coming in. And I never got that. And the second thing is that one of the other rule that we have is we only allowed 3 cars that can be parked in our property. And there is no street parking. There's 6 cars and there's cars parked outside. So that's actually broken the rule. You have to understand, you know, this is all about respect, you know, if you're going to somebody's property. The thing is that if you have 6 cars in the parking lot, how many people do you think inside the house? We can't see inside the house. We don't have cameras, you know. We give our guests privacy. I didn't even know that she has cars and, she got people in there until she messaged me. And then I tried to communicate with her about the policies, and it seems like she's trying to prove her point, and I can't go farther with her. So when I called Airbnb, of course, Airbnb wanted to get all the information, okay? They have to evaluate the host and they have to evaluate the guest. So Airbnb did their thing. Unfortunately, Airbnb was not able to get hold of this female guest because I believe she's not answering their call. So Airbnb contacted me back, and I told Airbnb and I said, hey, how can I move forward on this one? Because I am not comfortable anymore of them staying in there, because really, I don't know how many people inside the house. She's not telling me how many people inside the house. So I told Airbnb, said, well, Reina, what do you think you would feel like doing? And I said, well, maybe I can call a cop. And of course, Airbnb can't really tell us what to do. So I told Airbnb like, hey, if I call a cop, that would be okay. And Airbnb said, so whatever is you're comfortable doing, you can absolutely do that because it's your property.
And this is the part where people wanted to call her a racist because she said she was going to call the cops and there was black women involved. But you got to be able to see it from a business owner's perspective to understand what she's actually going through. And I understand it. If you own properties and you are allowing people to stay at your properties, do an Airbnb or some other platform, all you have to go off is the information that person provides you on the app when you create that contract. And so any information that does not align with what they gave you, it's going to give you a bit of hesitation. It's going to make you think that something may be going on that you don't allow on your property, because why did this person notify you and let you know exactly what they were going to be doing? You have policies in place that they should have read about. If they didn't, that's their fault. And so things happen. That's the part that people forget. There are people out there who will wreck your home when you own a property or try to do things that they know they're not supposed to do. And you don't know this because you don't know these people. And sure, it's easy to look from the outside and say, well, it was just a wedding going on. What could have happened? But as the person who is the owner, you don't know. You see a lot from different people from different walks of life when you're in that line of business. And so you can't just assume because someone may be doing something so innocent as having a wedding that that's going to be the only thing happening, especially when that wasn't communicated to you in the beginning.
So I messaged the female guest, and I told her and I said, hey, I want you to vacate the property. I'll give you 30 minutes, and if you don't, I will call the cop, which I never did. Okay. No, I never called the cop, and I don't have a brother cop. Okay. So when I sent that information, she sent me a really, really, nasty text or messages. And I knew I can't, no, I'm not comfortable. Okay. So this is my property and I'm not comfortable with it. If she is not willing to be honest with me, I don't respect that. So what happened was that I did not hear back from her, and I said, oh, okay, well, maybe Airbnb is still, communicating with them. As a host, we cannot, cancel somebody's reservation. You really have to go through Airbnb, and Airbnb will assist you in doing it. So when Airbnb said the cancellation, the reservation is already canceled because they have all the proof that the guests are breaking a lot of rules, house rules. So Airbnb made the decision that they can actually, cancel the reservation. And then after that, never heard from them. I said, oh, okay, well, hopefully, they get it. We never called the cop. I got a tag on TikTok, and the tag is them showing their experience on my Airbnb. And after that, I realized, oh, okay, maybe they're gone already because, it shows on TikTok that they're actually living. I said, okay, so I went and, checked the Airbnb. And next thing I know, my phone is blowing up on Airbnb app, telling me I'm a racist, telling me this, telling me that, nasty messages. And that went on the whole day, the whole night until today. Today is the 14th, okay? I'm still getting a lot of messages.
Now, the reaction to this video has been mixed. Some people side with the bride while others are siding with the host. Now, they both turned off the comments section to their videos, but it's already been stitched several times with comments like this. Yeah, this is so crazy. I feel so bad. Yeah, but it definitely would have went down on her wedding day. So she definitely sides with the bride on this. This person says, then she says she needed an ID for everybody in the house. At that point, just take the house off the market, because that's crazy. This person says, so looking at part 2 of this video, the owner had the rules and the rules were not followed. How would y'all feel if you had a no shoe policy in y'all houses and they knew you had this policy, but people came over and wouldn't take them off? Y'all would tell them to step. And this person says, y'all saying it's wrong because it's her wedding day, but that has nothing to do with the host. They saw the rules and should have picked a place to accommodate her needs instead of just expecting somebody to bend their rules because it's her wedding day. And so those were just some of the mixed comments, but there was also these reactions when people saw the video.
I don't care what happened in this video. I side with the Airbnb host. Now, while some people in the comments are arguing that the Airbnb host was probably racist, I argue that they were breaking the rules and the Airbnb host was probably enforcing them.
I just watched a response video from the Airbnb host. If y'all want to look at it, her name is Raina Tart. And all I have to say is that she has way too many rules. If that place is so sacred to you, I think you need to take it off Airbnb. She does not want people parking on the street. She only wants 3 cars in the yard. The lady communicated with her and told her, hey, the venue would not allow my girls to come in early to get dressed and all of that. I need them to come to the Airbnb and get dressed. She clearly stated that. She did not ask them to stay. The lady got on the video and was like, oh, you guys only told me 2 people were staying there. The bridal party was not staying there. They were only there to get dressed. She told them, oh, you need to go find somewhere else. She said, why am I going to get somewhere else that they're only going to be there for 3 hours? Like, what is the problem with that? Like, I don't understand that. And I get it. That's your place. You want to have all of these boundaries, and that's fine. You are allowed to have your own boundaries. But if it's going to be like that, I don't want it. That's just like these stylists that have all of these rules. Like, it is my choice. I don't want it. It is your choice to have those rules and restrictions. But come on, it was the lady wedding day. Like, you could not put all of that to the side to say, hey, I know you guys aren't going to be living here. I know you ain't here to turn up. I know you're here to get dressed. Go ahead and do your thing. Instead of you showing that compassion, you say, oh, I need you out immediately. That was just terrible. I'm sorry. That, as a host, I feel like that was terrible. You found no way to try to accommodate them. Even if you said, hey, can y'all come in 3 at a time and get dressed or makeup? You just immediately said, oh, no, you have to go. If that place is so sacred to you, boo, take it off of Airbnb.
You know, I hope people realize 2 things with this situation. One, just because you spend your money somewhere doesn't give you license, especially with someone else's property, where now you can do whatever you want. But then also, if you don't like the rules that people have in place, you don't have to give them your money. If you don't like a restaurant, if you don't like a stylist, if you don't like your barber, if you don't like an Airbnb property, if you don't like whatever with the customer service of a business, take your money and go somewhere else where you do want to spend it, where you like it, and they'll treat you the way you want to be treated. Otherwise, don't complain once you pay for it and you understand that these are the things that are expected of you. They're not going to bend the rules just to fit for you. They have them there because this is the expectation and the standard that they set.
That Airbnb host that kicked out that bride and her bridal party out of the Airbnb was 100% right. I heard both sides of the story, and I agree with the Airbnb host, because if you book for 2, which the lady did, and then you happen to bring 6 in, would have been fine. You happen to bring 7 in, that's not the rules. And the part that people are missing is the part of entitlement. A lot of people these days feel entitled. Just because I'm having a wedding, just because I have a special event, I should be able to do this. No. I'm sure it would be a different circumstance if the lady booked for 6 because the maximum capacity was 6, but she didn't want to pay for 6 guests. Let's clock it. If she paid for 6 and then said to the host, by the way, there's one extra person coming just for like a 10-minute overlap while the sixth person leaves. So it's going to be 7 in the house for 10 minutes. I guarantee you the host would have been like, that's fine, no problem. If you book for 2, knowing that you have a wedding, knowing that people are getting ready at the Airbnb, you are wrong because you did not book for the amount of people that you should have. And every bride knows the time that you're supposed to check into your venue. So if the venue check-in time was 12 and you need to get ready before that, why would you book an Airbnb of just 2 people? That makes no sense. You were trying to cut corners and then say to the Airbnb host, oh, because I'm the bride and it's my wedding day, you should just accommodate me. She doesn't have to. She really doesn't have to. You didn't follow the rules at all. If she says only 3 people are allowed to park in the driveway and you had more than 3 cars, that's a real break. If they say don't park on the road and you're parking on the road, you're breaking the rules. If they say it's up to 6 guests, mind you, she would probably have to go back and charge your card for 6 guests. You did not automatically say from the beginning when you first booked that there were 6 guests. Honestly, this is just about entitlement, and a lot of people feel entitled and think that they can just do whatever.
Raina Tart, ain't nobody else gonna book with you, girl. You have way too many rules, and then you post the video and then you turn the comments off, so we can't even comment. Plain and simple, if you are an Airbnb host, we understand that you have to make your money, but all the rules that you have and all the guidelines that you have is unnecessary. I feel so bad for that bridal party who got put out on their wedding day. That should never have happened. When you are getting married, it's already stressful as it is. Okay, and you want to find some place that's comfortable for you so you guys can enjoy your time and, you know, prepare for your wedding day. And that was just shady business. So no one's gonna book with you. We're gonna give you 0 stars on Yelp and wherever else we can give you 0 stars at. So yeah,
Y'all would literally hate me. That whole Airbnb bride situation, Airbnb host kicked out the bride. I thought the Airbnb host is not wrong at all, like by far not wrong. When you only hear one side of the story, which was the bride's side, at first I was like, yeah, that's kind of fucked up. Like, damn, she only had one person over and you kicked her out. But when you actually go and watch the Airbnb's host side, it's a completely different story. And this is exactly how story times consistently go. And I feel like after hearing both stories, the Airbnb host was not wrong. Like, and mind you, this is my perception because I used to be a chronic people pleaser. So I feel like when you stop people pleasing and you start doing stuff for yourself, having boundaries, standing on business about yourself and what you want to allow, people call you selfish, people say you're a bad person, all types of stuff. But at the end of the day, it's the entitlement for me. And if I was an Airbnb host, and this is coming from a black girl, black all the way around, I would have kicked her ass out too.
Bet not nan ho play with me or my girls on my wedding day. And to the Airbnb host that put the bridal party out because they was over the count, but that amount of people didn't sleep at the Airbnb that night, you know them girls was in there getting their hair and makeup did for the wedding. It's fucking 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. Ain't no partying or none of that going on. And you got the nerve to say if they don't leave, you're going to call your sheriff brother. When I tell you, me and my girls would have been waiting on you and your goddamn sheriff brother to come put us up out this mother that we paid for the weekend. It's my wedding day and you think you about to cause a confusion at my wedding day because you don't want us in your house. And the fact that you live across the street just means that you want to be one of them nosy old hoes that look for something to have a problem with, that just want to cause a problem.
Let this be a lesson. And I think it's kind of ironic that this situation involved a woman who was prepping to become a wife. It's her wedding day. And despite that, she lacked the proper communication skills needed to handle this situation in a better way, in my opinion. Hopefully the husband has a better outcomes when it comes to her communication skills than what she displayed here. But those are my thoughts. As always, I appreciate when you guys take the time to tune in. If you enjoy any part of the content, smash the like button for more, subscribe to the channel. And as always, until next time.